welcoming Deepthi, the disruptor. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumira. Did I pronounce rightly? Perfect. Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank God. I see the energy now. And I have given the zone where 80% of the negotiation happens. Do you know who are the two parties involved in the negotiation? Your head and the gravity. You'll just doze off post-lunch sessions, right? Trust me, you'll not sleep after this session. Because I'm not working with people anymore. I'm not working with people. Deepthi, are you saying we are not people, we are not humans? Absolutely not. You're all humans. But I also work with processors too. Which is like now the teams are blended teams. Even your Tesla car with a level 2 safety will not allow the person in the passenger seat to sleep. Got it? So now we are into the blended teams. Have you as a leader, you all might have been confused like, oh, I'm not a leader, but am I in the right forum? Yes, you're in the right forum. You also need to know how your team has to be there. Let me start with a confession, my friends. We are no more considering AI as an innovation. AI has entered our lives. AI also became a nightmare where half of our teams are agentic AIs. They started building applications. They started writing the code. They started doing everything. Our daily stand-ups, tomorrow you might expect even an AI agent comes and speaks, this is what my impediment is there. Or yesterday I did this, tomorrow I'm in fact doing this. Or I have a dependency on Sumira. You can expect that, right? But don't ask for a salary slip of AI. Don't go there. But if you really know, there is a conflict, right? Why do you change a company? Why do you change a company? Leaving the extrinsic motivation factors apart from money, why do you change a company?
Just for new innovations to take over?
Man, give me the modest answer. But trust me, there was a study from the MIT Solan who said like 58% of the people leave their organization because of people. And when you're working with the teams, having your AI agents, you might have a HR escalation saying my chatbot chatbot is not responding to me properly. And the HR says, are you talking to it politely? Imagine, this will happen, right? There could be a hallucination from your co-pilot at 3 a.m. in the morning. That works? My good friend nods his head. Are we having this conflict? Today it's a conflict, or today we might be feeling that, okay, this is a scenario. Tomorrow this scenario may turn into a reality. Are we far from that? No. We didn't adopt AI, but AI has adopted us. Will all of you agree with me on that? Perfect. Then, how do we need to have that mastery? Who hires you? Who hired you in your organization? Don't say HR, my friends. Who did your interview? Who did your interview? CEO and CTO? Probably the person whom you work with, right? But who hires your AI agent? Who has to hire your AI agent? Or who has to hire a chatbot? Who has to work with you? Sorry? I can't. That hiring or that management is done by your leadership. Agreed? Without knowing how he can go ahead. Is AI something very new for all of us? Are we hearing it from the last couple of years? No. AI is there from 1950, where the industry had the first robot. And in 2025, it is the place where we are using AI to whatever extent we want to use, even to take a very small paracetamol. Previously, we used to ask our Google. Now we are asking our ChatGPT, can I use a paracetamol? Yes or no? Yes. So we are making it to a wider extent. But when I'm looking at for a replica or a mimic of a human who has to come to your team, who has to pair up, whatever you call it as a co-pilot or an AI agent or a chatbot or anything, where does the synergy actually lies? Have you all studied chemistry in your school? Yes, right? What does chemistry have? Every time you see a beaker or a flask, you see it a chemistry. To me, whenever I see a beaker, it hits me, takes me like almost 23 years back. Oh my God, am I that old? No, I'm still young at heart. But looking at that, I feel that a beaker is essential. I consider my team as my flask, where that needs an artificial intelligence along with the emotional mastery. Agree with me? Yes, right? We need both the artificial intelligence. I need my ChatGPT. I need my Copilot. I need my GitHub Copilot too. I need all the artificial intelligence. But the synergy is in the flask. How can I make it a right mix of a blended team? That is where your bold leadership skills come into picture. How do you want your team partner to be, my friend? How do you want your teammate? Is your teammate in the room? Any of your teammates in the room? Okay, you can tell them whatever the negatives they have. It's okay, it's for the conference, don't worry.
You mean I should see the benefits or?
How an ideal teammate of yours have to be?
He has to be collaborative and communicative. Open communication is what I prefer.
Collaborative, communicative. All right, Niranjan might have different view.
A person with good emotional intelligence.
Good emotional intelligence. Oto next level hai. We need a no-show here. Yes, what kind of teammate you require? I'm just asking how your teammate has to be. I don't require a topic. How your teammate, what quality you require in your teammate?
So basically, definitely he or she should be cooperative, collaborative, then must suggest new things, innovative things.
So you all need a teammate who is knowledgeable, if I could say, collaborative, cooperative, and Niranjan needs emotional intelligence. Ajay has one more thing. Yes, Ajay.
I only need a teammate who can buy me the Himalayan Java coffee.
And I second that. I became a very big fan of Himalayan Java coffee since yesterday. Yes. So, and who takes care of this synergy? How I can have this? Do you all aware of periodic table? Yes, right? Your periodic table has hydrogen, sodium, lithium. I'm taking back to 2 decades back or 1 decade back. And each of its gas is reactive in nature, unique in nature. Some are reactive, some are stable gases, some are noble gases. I took this as an example. What synergy that a leadership has to bring into the team when they are blending the team with the AI. If I looked at, I made it to a 5 clusters. And these 5 clusters today, like my good friend has mentioned, emotional intelligence, which has an emotional equator. And another good friend said, I need a person who gives something back to the team. That is your cognitive catalyst. And we're all good at integration. We need APIs for the interfaces. I also need some tool to integrate with my agent too, right? That is my execution engines and influencing interfaces. And at last, we are all measured in the speed. How fast you deliver the working software to the market. We are in Agile Nepal. So, Agile matters. Reaching into the market much faster. And I need an execution engine over there. But along with that, I may sometimes require a gas like neon to give the radiance, brightness. That is where your fusion traits come into picture. Can I put all this into this and say like, okay, I need an AI agent which is like having all the cognitive catalyst, emotional intelligence, then you are easily replaced by AI. And remember the Tesla factor. Human supervision is always required because it is we who have developed the LLMs. It is not the AI that wrote the LLMs by itself. It is we who has written the LLMs. When I say this, when I'm talking about cognitive catalyst, I just want one thing. The 4 critical things for us to have the cognitive catalyst today is the vision, adaptability, data sense, and augmentation. I just want to lead with my brain. I don't need anything else. I just want to lead with my brain. Where I need a vision of my roadmap. My good friend Sumira is a product owner, she has mentioned, where if she understands why this product is being built, 40% of the rework that the team does gets reduced. And all of you are nodding, so I'm making sense. And the next thing is adaptability. Our main goal in the Scrum Agile Manifesto, responding to change or following the manifesto, does it fit there? Managing the priorities, adapting to priorities, all that come into picture. Data sense. Today we are in the place where DORA metrics comes into picture, where velocity is still considered as a metric with many organizations. You talk to any leader. I have those fancy leaders in my organization too. Today you ask, what is the metric that you have? Velocity. That's what I hear. So I have some gut feeling that is driven with Google Analytics that gives more predictability. I should be having that data sense. And augmentation. It is not a competition between 2 developers or between a developer and an AI agent or just between the AI agents. It is a developer pair programming with a co-pilot gives 2 times faster code reviews. If that is my cognitive catalyst, what will be my emotional equators? What can I have in my emotional equation? Empathy. This word has beaten to death by all the leaders. I need to have empathy, leadership, and I don't have anything to talk about there. Definitely. But I could say we have sentimental analysis, a kind of a tool we use in the retrospectives. Today I know my good friend could not be inclusive in the retrospective. That is the feedback that is given by the sentimental analysis. But me being the Scrum Master knows the reason why my good friend couldn't be inclusive in the retrospective. That is where the empathy plays a crucial factor. Trust design, yes, whatever AI says is not so perfect. If you have asked for a usage of paracetamol, what I have mentioned in my earlier example, asking the ChatGPT, it will give a thumbs up and a thumbs down symbol. Yes or no? What does it mean? Our trusted source is ChatGPT. Why is it asking for a thumbs up and thumbs down today? human supervision over the AI tool. It is not making a uni-biased judgment. It is asking further feedback. You validate yourself, what design I have made. And the cognitive resilience. Okay, I have merged my code. If your ChatGPT says this, will you blindly believe this? No, you need to validate. Need to validate. And there comes the human centricity. At the end, it is what the human matters, where we are just need to overlook what the outputs are. Otherwise, we are not making any sense with the usage of your AI agents or AI chatbots. How I need to be communicating with my AI agent. Do you know what is the new programming language that every one of us has to learn today? What do you do in your prompting? That's a very fair answer. But how do you prompt? The new programming language is English. But if you give the better prompts in a very plain English, explaining the target audience, that's the best programming language of today. Yes or no? Yes, the best programming language today is the English. And when you're giving prompting, don't just rely on whatever the data that you have. You're not putting your company data in the ChatGPT, which one of my good friend in the previous conversations when we had this morning, they have quoted that we are not putting every of our company information in the ChatGPT. I work for FedEx, which is a courier service. I want to deliver a package. To deliver a package, generate me 10 user stories. They'll generate 10 user stories. Is it giving the realistic information to me? No. My company has a different scenario of operation. My company operates on surface, airline, and sea shipment. Which scenario am I looking for? And when you're talking about the conflict alchemy, that's where that comes into picture. How you are communicating. Better prompts give better answers, like my good friend has mentioned the prompt craft. But when giving the better prompts, AI don't have the sentience. Remember that AI will not have the sentience. And when I say the execution engines, we always need a back to pack and pat and a neck to choke. Yes or no? If everything goes well, we need someone, Arey, you did a great job. If something goes wrong, it's obviously the manager who gets hold first. Luckily, I feel no managers in this room apart from Ajay. So, we need that. But how do I make sure that my execution is fast? Being agile, being in the VUCA world, how can I be fast? I'm measured with my momentum. Whenever the human freezes, it is the place where the AI has to pitch in. Your end-to-end deployments with your AI tools, end-to-end testing, which is an expensive thing today because it's a large batch that go through. That should be AI automation, needs to be done. Where there is a human limitation, that's where AI has to pitch in. And when I'm saying accountability, never trust your AI decisions as AI is always perfect. Follow this and this, the thumbs up and thumbs down. When I'm saying explainability and value alignment, did you ever felt in your organization saying like, okay, from tomorrow we are following AI in this platform or in this application, and it totally doesn't relate or resonate with your process or application? My good friend is nodding. He knows the pain. Because every time leaders come and say, tomorrow onwards we will be AI. What is there to be AI? We don't know. And even the leader doesn't know sometimes. So when you're making such decisions, there should be explainability and the value alignment, whether I'm making sense to use an AI tool. Who has to code? If I have an AI agent and a development team member, who has to code? Who has to test? Who pushes the code? Who makes all these decisions? Who will make this decision? And at the end, you will be fighting, my job is gone, I'm feeling jobless, I'm not being recognized, because AI will not ask for a work-life balance like humans. AI will never sleep. The tool will never feel hungry. Yes or no? It can work 24/7. Will you be able to work 24/7? And you need an appraisal and a performance rating. It doesn't need an appraisal and a performance rating. It just needs an upgrade. True? So if that is the case, there should be a neural humility, which is a fusion that balances between the ethics and the logic. How to use, where to use, when to use, how effectively I need to use. That brings the neural humility, and balance should be striked. Who has to monitor whom needs to be in place, along with the ethical intelligence and synergy sense. Synergy matters a lot. Today, the 5 dysfunctions of any team: absence of trust, lack of accountability, inattention to results, all this scatter into the dysfunctions of the team. But tomorrow, can you blame your blended teams for these dysfunctions? Definitely, if your AI agent or anyone in the team missing these properties, you'll not be a high-performing team. So who has to take that decision? It is your manager who has to look for the blend. Blend is a framework which I noticed out of my experience, where the team should have a behavioral synergy, because what information sharing needs to happen. Who has to own which piece? That synergy needs to be maintained. And a learning loop, both with the AI as well as the human, for the continuous upgradation of the team. Along with my good friend, emotional intelligence and the empathy, which Niranjan has quoted, they need to possess with a navigational trust, which is our main dysfunction of any non-performing team, is absence of trust, and trust needs to be created along with disruptive alignment. That is where I quote blend. If I know all my chemical properties, assume me as your team member. I'm Deepthi Yeragudipati. I'm your team member. Do you know what my personality is? Don't say you are tall, you are fat. That is not a personality. I have a personality of trait ENTJ. You can go, that's a homework, right, for all of you. Go and check with the 16 personality types and know your personality. But I possess a trait called DISC. I'm a dominant and influencer. Though I look subtle, smiling, I'm a very dominant person and an influencer when I come to work. If I need an ideal team partner, how my teammate should be, how my agentic AI teammate should be. Being a dominant person, she's imagining me. I know, she's just laughing. And is it? Are you imagining me in the dominant role? Wonderful. Then I'm connecting with you, my friend. So, how my teammate should be. I'm dominant. I'm an influencer. I communicate decisions much quickly, much fastly. There should be a personality complementing with me, right? To bring the good synergy, to make the decisions. If I apply blend over there, what cognitive catalyst element that my AI agent should possess? What fusion trait it has to possess to complement me as Deepthi? Look at this. I have high energy where the other trait of cognitive catalyst should be calm and precise. I take decisions much faster where my complement should look at every logical check, should be able to justify why this decision is made. Otherwise, we are not going to become a great team. We will be always having the momentum of running. It will be like some hit and run also. Sometimes I get failed. Yes, and I anchor to my boldness with integrity. I give a very bold statements where my compliment is like very explainable. Like, okay, why this is being communicated boldly. That contrast or compliments can help you having a great team. Today, you have your blending brains, bites, and beliefs. If I need a cognitive catalyst, my team is lacking of learning capability, I have all the human emotional intelligence, I have the behavioral synergy, but whoever the agent that comes into my team needs a learning capability. Then I can go ahead with my cognitive catalyst. If I need someone who needs a narrative intelligence, I have my manager today, whom I work with FedEx. I call him, I'm not learning any leadership skills from you, Bishwajit, but I'm learning English. Every time I send an email to him or some message to him, he asks, Deepthi, there should be a narrative in active voice, direct speech. Ito kya hai, English grammar class? What is it? What are you teaching me? I have covered all the points of the minutes of the meeting. He asked like, I need that narrative, Deepthi. I says like, Bishwajit, I'm not writing a story, I'm writing the minutes of the meeting. But if he needs the capability, he can have the influencing factors. If your team is missing of behavioral synergy, I can have emotional equators. And fusion traits are required for more decision clarity, right? I need to make the decision much easily, then I need decision clarity. So, execution engines for your ethical anchoring. This is how I am relating my framework blend with the periodic table elements of leadership that I have shown you this morning, just few minutes back. With that, tomorrow your AI agents may come and deliver a talk of this kind. Doesn't matter. They may come and deliver a talk of this kind. They also can give you an entire application developed, even fully tested, easily shippable, everything. But right mixture in the team gives right results. You know, right, if wrong elements are being mixed together in a flask, what it leads to? Rightly, explosion. If wrong elements are being mixed, it leads to explosion. It is where the leadership calls a bold leadership when they have a right set of people being required for them, recruited for them, and identify the right set of the people. We are no more innovating AI. We are in AI. We are going to become a human into AI, which is giving you an amplifying results. Never see AI as a competition. AI is a combination now for the success of the teams, the applications, and the organizations. With that, I'm open for Q&A. Any questions? So I'll ask a question now. Okay.
So when we are talking about blended teams, we are talking about AI agent as a team member, and we as a leader or manager being responsible for that team member. So now when it comes to AI, I couldn't relate bold leadership with it.
So what kind of team member that you need to have, that's where you need to make the right decision. I mean, the bold leadership comes into picture, whether I'm looking for a behavioral synergy or what is missing in my team, I need to make a bold decision and calling for that. So I have a question now. Who slept? And did I make justice to my first statement? I'll not let you sleep. Perfect. So with that, I'm signing off. This is my LinkedIn. Just get connected with this QR code. I would be happy to connect with you, all of you, and we'll be around during the happy hour. We can make more conversations. Thank you so much. Thank you, Agile Nepal.